Song's called Heart Left. Yeah, so run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Yeah, so run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Run, baby. Yeah, so run, girl, with your heart so heavy. I swear to God, I walk by every woman that I seen. She's a woman that a fiend. If I ever wander far, I show up in the dreams. Show up with supreme present state of mind. But I don't change the fact I'm out of presence all the time. Cause she can see it, boy, she be ballin' on the floor. So when she get infected, be that crazy is the floor. She said, ooh, boo, let me finish this shoot. Then I venture over on a hot pursuit. Like, this ain't an opera, but them pipes gon' suit right. I bend it over, then I stop before I like, ooh dang, is he really that vulgar? Is he the meanest? Is he really that vulture? Well, he's the meanest, he'll bleed into your culture. But she's a genius, I'm the best that she could offer. So run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Yeah, run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Yeah, so run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Run, baby. Yeah, so run, baby, while you still got a heart left. She made it to the split and made her heart left and turned back like, hi, are you effing high? I mean, ain't you gone, ain't you really by? I mean, really by, cause old girl, she willing try. She want the like DVR. These my feelings never pre-record. Get it right like however all. She never bored, well, bought her up them thoughts and let them soar to where they back and forth. Boxed in like VCR. These my feelings just pre-record. You've been chilling since our last record. So meet me here and we won't get caught. So look into my dreams, girl. We fighting in the dark, fighting the unseen. Frightening few on a fire for the flight to European. So I just think it's right that you out here on my team. So run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Yeah, run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Yeah, so run, baby, while you still got a heart left. Run, baby, while you still got a heart left. This next song is called Been There. For all you folks at home who have been there or maybe there right now. This song's for you. I've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so we can't come back. I've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so you can't come back. I've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so you can't come back. We been there. Yeah, well, you say I'm up to no good when I'm knee high and everything perfect, elegant. My name stay in cursive. We go with the flow. Oh, need to rehearse it. Where your girl at? Man, I hope you find her. Cause real G's moving silence like designer. So when you sneak up on it, we won't speak up on the way of the world. You haters better read up on it. Ayy. Cause you gon' be the key component. With the elite sit alone it. If you remiss, I roam it. The king is, the throne is mine for the taking. Yeah, my mind said vacant. Them Clydesdales racing. Yeah, I'm back in my home running for zone. She meet me at the door live. I've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so you can't come back. I've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so you can't come back. We've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so you can't come back. Been there. Yeah, so we the effing best man, dressed like a best man, bigger than my ego, flatline tuxedo. All black on and off again, like the issue rock to a coffin. Girl getting golfed in. This $100 fragrance hit you hard like a flagrant cut. The issue so intentional. Red carpet's too conventional. Coolest hitters ever. We monsoon with no effort. The way I make it rain, make the game hydroplane. After fortune and the fame, I'm just trying to remain in a stilo or a stance. I'm on my stilo in these stance socks, getting watched by the dang cops. Hey, so go ahead, watch me. The boy do it again, probably. Hey, I mean, what you mean? Like we come in the spot and we run it like a green light. I've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so you can't come back. I've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so you can't come back. I've been there, you know I run that, and you ain't from there, so you can't come back. Been there.
Thank you for tuning in and welcome to a very special Halloween edition of Kentcore. I'm Ben Pagani, and this week we have a band who has captivated audiences across the nation and have still connected to their roots in Akron, Ohio. They've had outreach at many festivals and have played with some of the top artists in the world, including Machine Gun Kelly. But don't get it twisted, they're making a name for themselves too, and you just saw why. It gives me great pleasure to welcome for the second time to Kentcore, Red Rose Panic. Now guys, I know it's been a very interesting time. Everybody's had their own story to tell in the last 7 months. We saw you last in February. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've been doing then?
Yeah, it's been quite an interesting year. I think more than ever, it's been more so a learning year, kind of been stripped of all like your main resources, and it's a good time to kind of go back to square one and kind of reassess yourself. But actually, after that show that we did here at Kentcore, we did a big festival spot that we had at Bright Winter. So thousands among thousands, we headlined that crowd. And so that was kind of like the start of our big trajectory of that year, basically. And we kind of want to map things out based on that. But probably maybe not even a month later, we had some opportunities come in that we just knew, like, it's not looking good out there. It's not, it's not looking promising. So it's been a real interesting year, to say the least. But, months have passed. We're progressing. Adapting is a really strong trait to have. And, when you're an artist, you have to adapt in a climate like this if you want to move forward. So adaptation and survival of the arts have kind of what we've been, flourishing through. So.
Well, you definitely have had a lot of interesting performances, playing in small venues, doing some virtual shows. How do you like what's going on in the music industry right now, and how have you adapted to that?
So just getting things set up with more of an online presence. Everything is already shifting to online. CDs are kind of going obsolete. It's kind of cool to have some vinyl here and there, but definitely the streaming, the Spotifys, the Apple Musics, the titles, you got to make sure all that is, ready to go. And if you, thankfully, if you were already on that path or task wave, before this pandemic hit, you should, be able to still upload and things of that nature. So I think just having that skill to adapt to more of an online atmosphere, even with like doing like the live shows that are streaming and things of that sort, and then, being able to direct an audience of potential thousands versus, a capacity of like 150 room, you can now kind of control that, because people that want to tune in to see you, they'll see you live, and then they can go right to your website because they're already on a computer or a phone. So that's kind of some ways we've, been adapting.
Now, fan interaction is definitely something that really seems promising for you guys. You guys have a lot of social media outreach. Like you mentioned, your website's a big thing, and you even headlined a festival, like you mentioned earlier this year. Whenever everything happened, did you decide, we want to keep working with this? Have you had anything planned? You might be doing another festival sometime in the future when things get back to normal. What does the future look like for Red Rose Panic?
So a lot of things, immediately were canceled. It was right before festival season hit through that spring and summer wave. So a lot of those things you got to, reach out to months or, weeks and weeks beforehand. So a lot of those things were immediately scheduled to 2021. Obviously we have to see what the future holds. But, hopefully that stuff, starts coming back around, next summer. And this was kind of a way to reassess ourselves to make sure that we're ready, for those atmospheres. This, could have gave us more time. Obviously, it's a huge pandemic and crisis, but we have to be prepared to go back out there when our name is called again. So, just really reconnecting with our family and stuff like that, because we were performing like every weekend, and would be like things people want to go out Friday or Saturday night, but we've got to rehearse and got a gig there, or got to be in Cleveland and got to be somewhere else the next day. So that's really been quite a rocky time, but it's definitely been a lot of readjustments for us for sure.
Now, it's got to be refreshing to get back with your family. I know being on the road can definitely be tiresome. So now that you're feeling maybe a little more rejuvenated, you got to tell me, is there maybe new music coming out in the future?
Oh, for sure, for certainly. So what we've been doing in this, pandemic, not being able to really see folks and perform in front of folks, all of us in this group, we've got Sticks here, an awesome co-producer, musician, co-founder. We got Lou here, Lou on keys. We're all like different producers in our own right. So we've been doing a lot of like soul self-searching, releasing, projects maybe that we've wanted to kind of, have out there. He's got an awesome project, Harley Quinn, coming soon. I think your next single's coming 11/11, right? Took that 11/11 though. I'll go ahead and take that. I have some solo stuff that I'm kind of working in the mix of. So just kind of tightening ourselves on that end. But we've had a lot of stuff that we were, launching this year, since we were kind of our trajectory that we had earlier this year. So we had a lot of material that we were ready to, wrap up, release a single for. So we still have that stuff, but a part of being a live band is, performing that and working that material. So just kind of re-strategizing, and it's forced us to be more in the streaming atmosphere of, okay, let's think about, attacking from this end versus, okay, I know we're going to perform this and tell folks to, hey, go download it, but now, how do you attack this from the streaming side? So we definitely have a lot of stuff coming soon for sure.
Well, that brings up an interesting note. I just want to know, can each of you go around and plug the material that you've been working on individually aside from Red Rose Panic? Kind of tell people a little bit more about what you guys do.
He's got some stuff that's hot right now, so I'll start with Sticks right here.
No, just I have a project coming out where it's a collaboration project with all my music production that I do outside of Red Rose Panic. But you will definitely hear members of Red Rose Panic all over the album. But it is a project that I've been working on for about a year or so to just promote my music production. It's going to be called Harley Quinn. It's going to drop on November 27th, and I have a single dropping on November 11th called Too High, which is really, really cool song. So whenever you guys see that, go see it on Spotify, all streaming networks, and it's Sticks, ST1XX, the number 1, and 2 X's, and you'll find me. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff I've been doing is, since the pandemic happened, I'm able to get with some other artists and, lay down keys for different people. I know I've done a couple things for our bass player, Smokeface, and some of our other band brothers who've reached out and want keys done. So I've been doing that, and I also do a thing called Uncle Lou. It's a comedy sketch, and yes. Something that I try to, just make people laugh and just, kind of lighten the mood. Because I know this pandemic has been, kind of heavy on people's hearts. So just want to do something to, just keep everybody's spirits up. So that's what I do.
I definitely agree. The arts are something that are just tremendously broad, and it's really cool to see that outside of live music, you guys are also working in production and even comedy. That's so cool. So I want to hear what you guys have to keep playing for us from their record Time Attack. This is Change Your Mind from Red Rose Panic.
Song's called Change Your Mind.
So I woke up in the world today. My whole life changed. My mind changed. My life changed. My night changed. But does that change your mind, girl? What does that change your mind, girl? What does that change your my life change? My day change. My night change. But does that change your? Hey, that's the one like Rocky Marciano. I play with that like the boy play piano. I'm Ponce de la I know the last few things you said. I invite her over instead. See, this is real life, looking out a sphere now, upside down like the boy living in the spirit realm. And I really get, and like I really hit the kitten from the side when I slide like I'm up. I day here, I've been to the curvature in the sky, in the lair. It's amazing when the world changes. She rock me out, then I'm Gwyneth Paltrow till the outro. Hard act to follow. She roll over, then she give me sleepy hollow. Then suddenly I'm hollow like I'm ghost. Your girl got me doing the most, so I woke up in this world today. My whole life changed. My mind changed. My life changed. My night changed. But does that change your mind, girl? What does that change your mind, girl? What does that change your my light change? My day change, my night change. But does that change your? So we woke up in this world today. A whole life changed. A mind changed. A life changed. A night changed. But does that change your mind, girl? What does that change your mind, girl? What does that change your my life change? My date change. My night change. What does that change your mind? Song's called Wonder Year. Let's go. Sometime I wonder. Sometime I wonder. Sometime. Well, dang, who let this hitter in? Who knew the flow would be so bigger, better than them well-known Joes? Got him looking so average, seating shades of blue like he playing for the Mavericks. The kid be taking shots, man, such a good effing average. He is so caveman, so Fred Savage. It's been a wonder year, so excuse me for my absence. Don't pour her on, baby, just dab it. How you gon' drown me in my own bad habit? You so far from the crown and just gon' grab it? Nah, don't even try to sugarcoat me. I'm on that next page. How you gon' go quoting me on some next level ish that ain't even been said? You just listen for the written while it ain't even read. So play it cool, now you may as well cry wolf. I'm sitting steady, ready, and I'm sniping for the effing truth. Sometime I wonder. Sometime I wonder. Sometime. Yeah. So excuse me as I go back in. See my white lights as I back right in. This is when my time started, like back right when I was so opposite like black lightning. But they ain't had no type of black light then. So I remain stainless like a steel titan. So heavy on the scene, but I'm just a human being. And my thoughts are way whatever or whoever you could dream, man. You would say, damn, whatever, so it seems. I've been dodging haters ever since the baked jeans, yo. All the bickering is so sickening. I wish you was a wet finger with a socket to stick it in. Pray that the shock bring you home with me. Shoulder so long, but my mind be roaming free. Hey yo, who would've thought I was so prone to be someone who guides his arrows like a samurai Ronin G with a sword clash here and a Tom Cruise there. I've been dancing with wolves ever since I could stare. That cakes that lead to the heavens where everything good. You can feel the fresh and hey. Sometime I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes.
What's up, everyone? I'm your friendly neighborhood television host, Ben Pagani. Halloween is my personal favorite holiday, and it's not every day you get to ask some spooky questions, so I'm going to take full advantage of this opportunity right here tonight. Red Rose Panic, tell me, and this is one that could really tear your whole band apart, but I have to ask, what is everyone's favorite Halloween candy?
Reese cups.
Ooh, I like Reese cups a lot.
Yeah, like
Yeah, can't go wrong with
That
that.
was like my first candy I fell in love with and couldn't get it.
yeah, I have to Reese cups or anything like Jolly Ranchers, Sour Patch Kids, anything.
See, my
gummy.
mom has this candy jar and they come back again, and they're like the red and the green color for like Christmas. So like they come back at Christmas, and I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, Reese cups. I can't even. That was a good one.
Yeah, we unified on the Reese cups.
Yeah, we unified at the Reese cups.
That's one.
If it all goes down, we're at Reese cups, I guess.
If anything, then I think I take full responsibility for making this band closer. I'm just gonna go ahead and own that title. So are any of you dressing up this weekend? What as? And can you tell me if you're not dressing up, what's the best costume you've ever worn? I got a quick story. When I was in high school, I went as Edward Scissorhands, and I hit a deer on my way to a Halloween party. Had to call the police. I was on the side of the road, dressed in full costume as Edward Scissorhands, talking to a police officer.
Wow.
So if you guys can beat that story or tell me a better costume, I want to hear it.
Oh man.
Yeah, so this guy really doesn't. He's not the most Halloween-esque guy, but he actually has to host a whole Halloween party tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't really have a Halloween storyline planned. I remember getting scared, like walking up to a porch, and it looked like they weren't celebrating Halloween. They were like, "Yeah, no, their lights on, but it's kind of on." And like this guy like kind of rolled out the bushes, and I like just threw my bag everywhere. And I was like, we weren't like really the best well off coming up, so I had like a pillowcase. My pillowcase full of candy. And pillowcases actually were the cheat code to having a lot of candy, but I usually, typically around some type of samurai, vampire, ninja. As I stay in that realm, so nothing too like creative, I guess. Anything.
Actually, this year I don't like he said, I don't dress up for Halloween. I don't care about Halloween, but
That's terrible to say on the Halloween.
I know that's terrible to say on the Halloween episode. I don't care. But this year I'm going to be a werewolf. So I got a pretty cool werewolf outfit uniform. It's gonna be really cool. So I can't wait. I gotta host a Halloween party as an MC. So I'm gonna be werewolfing it up.
There you go.
What about you, Lou?
I do have a funny story. So it was like one year, I think it was a couple years back, my church usually has trick or treat or trunk or treat at the church. And I couldn't think of nothing to be like last minute. So I was told, just get this gorilla costume. I'm like, all right, I ain't think anything of it. Just thought I'd just be a gorilla. And there's a bunch of kids there. So I walk into the church, and literally every kid was like, Ma. Literally every kid. And I was like, oh, I didn't think anything of it. So I will say, like, I accidentally scared the children at church. At the church. I scared all the children.
I don't know if that's necessarily a sin, but it made for a good story. I'll take it. I appreciate that. Let's get back to some music questions. You guys definitely explore a lot of genres in your songs, and I think that's what makes you unique, and I think your fan base would agree. So can you tell me who and what are some of your greatest musical influences?
I think for us, like as a band, the way we started, we were really influenced by like the Pharrell Williams of the world, NERD type of like kind of jazzy mixed with like hip hop. But we all have got like different influences. That's like my main influences, like the Pharrells, the Kanyes, the Mos Defs, when it comes to like the lyricism and how to deliver vocals and stuff like that. Those are like my favorites. Lupe Fiasco as well. But on the music front, I'm gonna let these guys, some musicians right
So
here.
many. It's definitely Pharrell, Timberland, Ryan Leslie, anybody like that. There's a couple. There's a band called Hiatus Coyote that I'm absolutely in love with. There's also another band called All Cows Eat Grass that I listen to quite often. So people like that. I love music, so I can go on and on and on about my inspirations. But I do take a lot from those type of people. People who musically make you think and put you in a realm where you're thinking to yourself like, wow, I would have never thought to do that. I love all of those type of people.
I'm pretty open, so I mean, people that really influence me. I'm like a PJ Morton just because he can play keys and sing at the same time, and his music is all about love. But I'm also inspired by people, a group called Moonchild. Love Moonchild. Thundercats. Amazing. So those people, yes. So those people are pretty influenced in my musical life, I would say.
Each do a little bit of different stuff. I mean, obviously your rules in music are a little different. So I want to know, how did each of you begin your music careers? When was the first time you picked up an instrument?
Well, for me, I began writing in elementary school, and I had a English teacher kind of like anonymously like pull like 3 poems. We had like a poetry like class within that, and I would typically get like be in that bunch, So I felt like, oh, this was kind of when rap was kind of cool, and on the radio you listen to like whatever your favorite radio station was in the car with your mom or whatever, and so that's kind of I started drawing and stuff, but I had like some kind of ability to draw like the words and connect them in the same creative way as I was drawing pictures. So that's kind of how I started, at least with words. And then I met this guy like 20 years ago, and he's like the first musician that I like legit met. And one day we were like drawing pictures, and this is a guy, he can draw like stick figures, and I can draw pretty well. But the next day he can go on like a whole drum set, and I'm like figuring out how do you move your foot with your your hand. So it's just like that kind of experience to understand like how music and art is so different but so still the same. That's kind of my experience, but you probably 2 years old in the womb,
Yeah.
so.
If you let my mom and dad tell it, they'll say I've been playing drums before I could even walk. They said I would go into the cupboards and grab out pots, but they were saying that it couldn't just be any pot. I would literally look for a specific sound, and I would put some pots back and take some pots out. So for as long as I've known myself, I've always been involved in music in some way, capacity. My mom was involved in music. My dad is also a really, really good musician and vocalist. So I come from a music family. That's all I would know. We would sing to start dinner. We would sing for this. We would sing for that. It's just there was always music around, no matter what. So I got acclimated to it by that.
I would say the same thing. It seemed like every drummer has that. Oh, I'm going to pull out the pots and pans at 5 years old. I was the same way. First instrument was drums, and then switched to keys eventually. So I mean, I played in the orchestra from 6th grade to my senior year of high school. So I've always just been around music as well. My grandma always listened to music, just all different types of music, like from Temptations to Earth, Wind and Fire to all the new school, John B. and Tevin Campbell. And then all my cousins, they all can sing. And on my dad's side, they all just musically heavy. So I've just always been around music. And, it's something that I guess you could say you're born with.
That's incredible. Thank you guys for telling your stories. That's going to wrap it up for this Halloween special edition of Kentcore. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at KentcoreTV2. Check out our web content on KentWire.com and view past episodes on our YouTube channel. Special thanks to our guests from Akron, Ohio. Their album Time Attack went up on Bandcamp this summer, so if you want to show support for them, go check them out online. That was Red Rose Panic on Kentcore. We'll see you next week. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
We might root for different teams,